Hello, I'm Mike Gorin, and welcome back to my perfect playthrough of Pokemon GSC, RBY GSC. And today I decided to specifically get started with Pokemon Gold and Silver versions. Yellow version is still gambling, so I figure now's the time to begin my next pairing. I want it to be Tuesday at 4 a.m. all over. This will allow me to go into the... This will allow me to try to speedrun my way all the way up to Goldenrod City and try to get a free Master Ball out of the Lucky Number side quest. So, Gold is going to be named Ethan, as that's his canon game name, while Silver will be named Jimmy, which is actually the name they gave his anime counterpart. So, Ethan and Jimmy are going to be counterparts that will be bouncing off of each other. Something else you're going to notice too is I'm just speeding through the dialogue this time in both games. I'm not even trying to read it. So I need to be Tuesday in all 4 games. Whereas and it needs to be 4 a.m. so it's morning. And the reason why I'm speeding through all the dialogue here is because fundamentally Pokemon Crystal has all the exact same lines of dialogue plus a few bits added in. And something else I'm going to do differently is I'm going to try to have all 3 starter Pokemon in all 3 games. And the reason for this is because all 3 star Pokemon evolve at different levels. Otherwise, I will try to keep true to the one trainer rule as much as possible. But I have to make an exception with the rival trainer when having all 3 starters. So Gold has a bit of a head start because I fucked up royally with the menuing. Menuing in Gold, Silver, Crystal is a bit stiff compared to Red and Blue. Just quite loose, to be precise. So Silver was the first one to get to a random encounter, now it's Gold's turn. Bit of trivia, I realized a little too late I didn't need to go this route yet. I could have just kept going. Silly me. Because I'm going to be duplicating all 3 stars so I can nab them all. But don't worry, once I close up the events of this episode, I'm going to try to PK Hex the save file so all 3 stars would be registered. Now, something else worth noting is I do go for the berries in all 3 games. Having said that, more random encounters. Random encounters in this episode were just plain stupid. That during the valuable event. And honestly, it's these encounters that made this episode way longer, especially when I keep running into them. Silver has it rough the most rough during the Totodile run. But wait till we get to the Chikorita run. Hello. Alright, yeah. So, I will read all the dialogue in Pokemon Crystal because there's really nothing differentiating between the three versions other than the Pokedex entries. So yeah, this is the only other Johto's the only other region in the games that Professor Oak makes plays a prominent role in the story. You still have to rate your Pokedex from Professor Oak, and you still get your Pokedex from it as well. In future generations, the regional professor does all that. Its well-developed jaws are powerful and capable of crushing anything. Even its trainer must be careful. And something I should stress is that in both gold and silver versions, the Pokedex starting with Gen 2, the Pokedex entries are going to be different in every game. Otherwise, gold and silver will largely be the same games all throughout, with probably the main difference being a couple version exclusives based on locale. Or an early box legendary versus a later one. Right now, gold is so far ahead that it's ridiculous. Now to read Silver's entry. It is small but rough and tough. It won't hesitate to take a bite out of anything that moves. Yow. Hello, Jenny's a disaster. Got away safely. Alright, Chikorita keeps using Tackle, so that's fine and dandy. Totodile grew level 6. And question mark was defeated. But now it's Silver's turn to take on their rival. Now what's interesting is that Gold will actually name his rival while Silver will not. And we'll just stick with the default. The reason for this is because the rival does not default name is actually Silver. And I want to give the player character and the rival a different name in every game if possible. Oh yeah, it's gonna be Kamon. This is terrible. Oh yeah, so is yeah. So, Gold is way ahead of Silver, at least for the time being. So now... And I believe Crystal will also have unique Pokedex entries as well, but I don't have to worry about timing or anything like that. Right now it's okay for there to be some discrepancy between the two games because I'm reading Pokedex entries. And uses Pokeball. So, how far am I gonna go in Gold and Silver before I move on to the next game? I actually want to move on to Crystal version soon because Crystal will be the game that primarily pairs up with Yellow version. The reason being is because Crystal doesn't have, other than Celebi, Crystal doesn't have any Pokemon that Gold and Silver don't have. So Silver needs to catch a Pokemon. That much goes without saying, so does Gold. But Gold already caught their Pokemon. So, yep. And I need to give Totodile a berry. And the reason why I'm giving Totodile a berry rather than a Pokeball is because berries are going to be play an important role in a future side quest. Look for Pokemon grassy areas. Alright, now that Silver's caught up, I'm ready to deposit my Totodile and change boxes. And this time I actually need to physically change boxes this time. And I power off right before the word power is finished typing in. And what this does is it sends me all the way back to Elm's lab. Seemingly that was just a waste of time. And now I'm gunning for arguably the worst star Pokemon in Chikorita. And now Silver's nipping on Gold's heels. And it's probably only a matter of time before Gold gets hit by a sledgehammer because there's so many random encounters. So that's one encounter. That isn't too bad. See, Silver got an encounter at roughly the same spot. Now I'm gonna cut through here because I don't need to get into the tall grass again. So now Silver's catching up. Gotta pass him. Oh, nope, Silver got into a random encounter just as Gold got done with theirs. Come on. See, the controls are a little stiff in Gold and Silver. Not so much loosey-goosey when moving. just nabbing the berries, even though I don't need to nab both of these, just one should suffice. And then Gold gets into a random battle, and now Silver has just passed Gold. And Gold gets into another random encounter, but don't worry, Silver got into a random encounter. But close to the end, and of course, Gold gets into another encounter immediately afterwards. And both Pokemon struggle to escape because level 4 Pidgey's faster. And for some reason, I grabbed the hidden potion on the ground. At least it'll be useful FYI for later. But Silver's comfortably ahead of Gold now. And will pretty much remain that way the rest of the run. So yeah, I'm just gonna blitz through trying to get the Pokedex in both games. Silver's done. And okay, it is fine for there to be some discrepancy because it gives me time pleasantly aromatic leaves have the ability to check the humidity and temperature. That was weird. What does Gold have to say? Sweet aroma gently wafts from the leaf on its head. It is docile and loves to soak up the sun's rays. So, yeah, the two games have different Pokedex entries, so it's not a bad thing for there to be some discrepancy between the two games as far as Pokedex entries are concerned. And then Gold gets into another random encounter when Gold is behind Silver at the moment. Like, Jesus fuck. Oh, this is so stupid. All these pointless random encounters. And there's another reason why I'm not doing random encounters. It's because of the version exclusives and version exclusive rarities. The Caterpie and Wheel lines do not give out the same amount of experience points per battle. So yeah, so maybe Gold will have a better rival 1 fight than Silver will. So Ethan is lagging behind Jimmy. So anyone who saw the Pokemon Legend of Thunder anime special, actually is an anime special set in the mainline anime series, but follows the male and female protagonists from Gold, Silver, and Crystal versions, and is the premier feature that show off Raikou. Even though Raikou himself has made the fewest appearances of any of the legendary beasts in the anime. Despite this, Raikou could be seen as easily the best of the legendary beasts in terms of speedrunning. Now you might be wondering, why didn't I just give the Pokeball to Chikorita, to Totodile? Withdraw Totodile. Take out the Pokeball. Deposit him back. And then gave him a berry. Well, I want to make sure the same Pokemon carries over the same item in every save file. I think the way I see it, it's more important for gold and silver to both transfer berries than to try any clever tricks with the Pokeballs and with the Hell items. Right now, I'm not actively trying to duplicate items. Man, there is so much dialogue in Gold Silver, it's ridiculous. And he actually gives us 5 Pokeballs. Just like in Red, Blue, and Yellow, except you don't have to battle your rival a second time before they cough them up. They'll just cough up the Pokeballs almost immediately. Oh. Pokeball? And I'm just gonna keep battling these trainers. So now it's Silver that's not even running to any encounters. So yeah, that's the reason why. Gold kept getting to random battles where Silver wasn't during the Chikorita run. Don't worry, I will go around and read their Pokedex entries eventually. This is so stupid. So yeah, I'm just making sure that yes, I've got Totodile in my box still. And I deposited Chikorita as well. Same thing as last time. And now Silver is gonna go get the last star Pokemon, which is Cyndaquil. Honestly, the main difference between this trick and what I did in Red and Blue is that in Red and Blue, you have to start, because duplication actually keeps track of the coordinates of your coordinates, whereas the duplication trick doesn't. In Gold, Silver, Crystal actually assumes you're in the old location, whereas Red, Blue, and Yellow doesn't. Red, Blue, and Yellow, if you try duplicating, will update everything except your party. Whereas in Gold, Silver, Crystal, the only thing that gets updated is the PC. Because of this, that and the items, and the fact that you can now hold items in Gold, Silver, Crystal means the duplication trick in Gold, Silver, Crystal are not just infinitely easier to pull off than Red, Blue, and Yellow. Well, maybe not so much Yellow. Yellow at least gives you a cue as to when to power off. Even though it is still risky. But it's actually more useful because it makes it way easier to nab all 3 stars, and your old starters are not treated as traded Pokemon because they're still registered to your Pokemon trainer. So, yeah. What's with the graphical flickering up top in Silver version? So, because Gold is Silver so far ahead, I'm gonna try to avoid random encounters. Also, I'm nabbing every item along the way this time in both playthroughs because this is gonna be the last time that I start duping Pokemon for quite a while, honestly. This is Pokemon. Alright. So yeah, but don't worry, I will use PK Hex to fully reintegrate the starters into my party. So yeah, in Gold, Silver, Crystal, I actually had to work exponentially in order to make sure that all 3 star Pokemon are available. Now I do have a few useful tricks to try to at least close the distance a little bit in Gold, Silver, Crystal. With Gold, it's simply don't avoid random encounters, whereas in Silver, it's... well, you'll see. Alright. It usually stays hunched over. If it is angry or surprised, it shoots flames out of its back. If you don't use the duplication trick at all, the most amount of or do trades or mystery gifts or anything like that, the most amount of Pokemon that you can actually catch in Gold, Silver, Crystal are most amount of Pokemon that you can actually catch in Gold, Silver, Crystals is 199. And Pokemon Gold, Silver, actually, it's 199. In Pokemon Crystal, it's around 206, 207, because you can get multiple stone evolutions in a single game. Hello, that's a disaster. What should I do? So because Gold and Silver pretty much have all the Johto Pokemon, aside from Celebi, Celebi's the only Pokemon that's unique to Crystal version. I'm going to have to give one of the 3 Gen 2 games the Gen 1 Pokemon. So Crystal would have something to trade with the other players. However, I don't need to worry about trading. It is timid and always curls itself up in a ball. If attacked, it flares up its back for protection. No. Berry. Take the berries from each of the Johto Starters. And I'm gonna follow Silver's footsteps here and swap Totodile to the front of the party. Most damage dealt against the Totodile, but Cyndaquil will still gain all the experience points. This will cost a point in friendship value with Totodile. So after this, Totodile and Cynic will both have friendship values of 76, while Chikorita will be 77. Yeah, generally speaking, we don't want to faint our Pokemon. However, none of my Pokemon here are main benefactors of high friendships, unless you want to teach them return. So it's no biggie. So Silver's way behind, but there is still one element that could allow Gold to close the gap with Silver. As I'm gonna end this episode off with the Pokemon capture. So, Silver's gonna keep the rival name to Gold, while Gold is gonna name their rival Camon. And the reason for this is because in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, the male protagonist's name is Ethan, and Ethan's among the default names. So, the name that's comparable to Ethan in terms of name placement would be Camon. Hence the reason why Gold is naming their rival Camon rather than sticking to the default Silver. Yes, I'm naming him Camon. The rival's name is never given in the anime. As he only makes a very brief cameo appearance, using Nidoking as his ace mon. Which makes no sense because your rival never uses Nidoking in any of the Gen 2 games or their remakes. Basically uses the same 5 Pokemon lines plus the starter. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could head up here to Route 46. And there is a Pokemon I need to catch, and it doesn't matter what time of day you try to go for it, because it's a 5% encounter rate no matter when you go for it. The same can't be said for Crystal version, where there's a lot more Pokemon that are separated based on time of day in which you capture them. So, Totodile is just gonna go ahead and try going for it. Oh, both at the same time. Unfortunately, this is when Gold completely closes the gap. On Silver, as now Gold is going, because this is the Pokemon that I was looking for, Jigglypuff. And I need to catch one for each game. And side note, it doesn't matter how many copies you catch of a Pokemon you catch. Just catch one, and you can just duplicate these Pokemon to your heart's content. It's a mostly safe prospect because so long as you power off before the word power gets filled in Gold and Silver, you're good. The timing's a little off in Crystal, but if it inflates to sing a lullaby, it can perform longer and cause sure drowsiness in its audience. But don't worry, Silver isn't too far behind Gold in this regard. Looking into its cute round eyes causes it to sing. a relaxing melody inducing its enemies to sleep. So it's now time to head back. And this is literally all there is to do here in today's episode of Pokemon Gold and Silver. So yep, Gold's got to fish up first, and then it's Silver's turn to wrap up. Next time we are going to take Professor Elm's advice and continue north into Violet City. I'm just looking at the team composition right now. Yep. So that's it for now. If you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all out of the way, this is Mike Gorn, sign out.